Hello everyone, there you go, and welcome to the LSI summer season. We're here today for the summer season. The Friday tier. Should we start that again a minute? Let's start that again. Hold on a minute. Hello everyone, and welcome to the LSI summer season. We're here today for the Friday tier, the Australian Grand Prix. Yes, we do have a little bit of a different format. We are now on 18-minute qualifying and then using the sprint race feature, so a 10-lap sprint followed by a 50% distance race, which will be 29 laps for the Australian Grand Prix. Now, all that said, a bit of damage from the Haas, unfortunately. We do have a wet qualifying session at least on our hands. Don't know about the races, but yeah, this is what we got for now. The sparks fly in as the circuit's getting a little bit dry. You can see the racing line. It's not really that dry. Cisco backing off this lap after they've already set one. Nice to see them on return in P6 right now after their injuries that they've recovered from. So brilliant to see them back. Luke tops the times, no surprise there, as a 27.8 is the lap to beat, very close to Van Andrews there. And then we have Davin with a 28.0. So only two drivers in the 27 so far. And Zingy just coming out for their first lap. Everybody else has been at least out at least once, but not everybody has set a lap except from Zingy. So Zingy's going to go for his first shot very, very soon. And Luke comes around the final corners. Are they on another lap? We've got a few cars slowing down to try and get out of the way. It's pretty crowded. The McLaren comes through the final corner as there is a Ferrari a little bit in the way, and he is going to go and set another lap. A little bit of a moment. Is it going to be an improvement as Spike sets a 27.3 across the line? And it is a 27.2. So lovely, lovely stuff. Retains that top spot on, or in the times right now. And Andrews did recently cross the line again, but they didn't improve. We've got Davin in P4, and he's done a good job, I should say. Davin very close to the Ferrari, as the Ferrari did get off the circuit in a bit of an awkward position on the circuit. Dave Raptors in P5, really, really good pace as we saw in Brazil. For the first time we saw Dave Raptors driving, it was really, really good pace. Just didn't have the ability to carry on the pace later on into the Grand Prix. I think because of setup, as they were really struggling with the car, but hopefully they've got on top of that this weekend, and they have a chance to get some really good results here. They did some amazing racing along with their teammate, who is also in the Alpine today as well. They're both reserve drivers for today's race, but still looking for some good points. Cisco in P6 crosses the line, and they do improve by 7/10, but nothing position-wise. It's just, is it what it is? Max Martin leaving the session, strangely, but hopefully we can see them get back into the lobby. We'll have to wait and see. Dave Raptor's got a bit of traffic there, as he does manage to navigate through over that bumpy curb. Very difficult to take at certain times, but they get through it nicely. Now through the final few corners into turns 13, now up to 14. The final one can can cause people to make some errors, but he gets through it nicely. It's kind of got a positive camber, but it's really difficult to get right. It can spin the car out. It improves by a 10th, but nothing position-wise. Just gets closer to End Andrews and defends from Cisco behind, but nothing. That is sometimes the nature of wet sessions. You have to just keep putting laps in, slowly improving and slowly improving. Zingy still not set a lap time. I think he's been on a couple laps right here. We'll have a quick look. He has. So he's invalidated that first one, and he's made a mistake on the second one. Oh, no, no, no. Not ideal at all. And into the wall. I don't know if they got any damage. They went very, very slowly into that wall. They might be able to stay out and carry on, but that is not ideal for the Red Bull. Not looking good so far. Eager Pro yet to set a lap time. They come around the final corner. They are going to set this lap time. It will be valid across the line. What's it going to be? And it's a P7, the sprint race winner, and actually pole sitter of the one-shot qualifying. Eager Pro down to P7 in Australia. A difficult circuit. He was very, very good at Brazil, but Australia is just a tricky one to get right, not only for Eager, but for everybody. But yeah, Eagle almost winning that feature race as well. It's just a shame that you had the mistake on the final lap. Let's see maybe if you can get some good points today. That would be awesome. But we have Cohen into P6, so he's improved nicely. And now we do have a top 5 all in the 27s. Marco unfortunately leaves the session. Hopefully they can get back in. And we are watching Cohen as he goes into the final sector. We do need to watch out for those sector lines, really. See where they are. The sector line just before turn 9. And just after turn 5, I think that is. I think the fast right-hander is turn 5. Not entirely sure. Marco does join back the session. Cohen goes into the pit lane. Cisco up to P3, I didn't realise. So fair play to him. Very narrow pit entry there. That's going to be something to look out for the race, of course. It's going to be pretty tricky to get right. But at any rate, we go into the pit lane. And that's going to be Cisco going in for a bit and coming out in a little bit later on. Dave Raptor's in P8 right now. On a lap, going into the third sector now. What's it going to be? And it's not an improvement, so they're going to be on a warm-up lap here. Who was that? Max Set just goes P3. Lovely stuff at 27.5. So 2 tenths behind Spike. But a tenth ahead of Cisco. So lovely stuff. Slots their way in. We've got Vortex in P10 right now. They're coming around the final corner looking for an improvement lap. What's it going to be? Get to the line, get to the line. And it is a 28, improved by 7 tenths, but nothing position-wise once again. And it's just going to have to be what it is. Still need an extra 2 tenths to get ahead of Cohen. So there's a little bit of distance that they need to go and a bit more time they need to gain. And it's possible in the wet. You can just keep doing laps, keep doing laps. You don't necessarily need to go into the pit lane for fresh tyres. The tyres do last, and we've got some traffic up ahead. And was that Eager Pro with damage? I don't quite know, but End Andrews is going through, taking that wide line on exit as you hit this. I guess you could call straight, really. Hit the wide line to try and minimise the car loss. Only the brave will keep it as tight as possible. But End Andrews currently actually are on an outlap. Didn't realise that. They're on an outlap. We've got Vortex improving by 2 tenths. So this could be enough to get them ahead of Cohen. They still got a sector to gain some more time. They'd still need another 2 to get ahead of End Andrews, who's also on an outlap. And then we need another 2 tenths to get ahead of Davin. So they've still got some time to gain. Another 4 tenths if they want to gain a P5 position. They're definitely up by 2 tenths. Have they kept it? Bit of a correction there, unfortunately. It still should be an improvement, though. How much bias, the question. Across the line it's going to be. And it isn't an improvement at all. Oh, what a shame. In the end, lost it just towards the final part of the lap, really. And, oh, no. That's the wrong... Wow, that's definitely the wrong... button. There you go. This is the correct button. Sorry for pressing the control button. And Zing really struggling with the car. Really struggling with the car in the wet. Manages to keep it in a straight line this time as we'll head up to the first sector line. That's a 49.5. Riding that bump as you can do in the new game. In the old game it was a little bit more difficult. Touch of the grass on the inside. Max Martin does finally rejoin the session. Sorry for the delay. Should be good to go. Alrighty, Zingy, P4, didn't see that, but we are here now. 27.5, so despite the struggles, they still got a fairly decent time, still 3 tenths away from the pole time, but that isn't too bad at all. They've invalid on this one, so they won't be going again on this lap, but they will have to probably go again on the next lap. I don't know if they'll actually get time to go into the pit lane and come back out. Probably would if they really pushed it. But I don't know how much they really want to try that now. And Andrews in P5 looking for an improvement. Says they're a 10th up right now as they exit the first sector. Now, once again, riding that wide line. Keeping it as tight as you can. Run as minimum amount of track as possible. Reduce the track distance to gain that time across the sector line. Again, 1/10 up. Can they find any more in the final sector? They're going to need a bad attempt to get ahead of, well, Zingy and Maxet. They could get ahead of Maxet as well here if they can improve by a 10th. Of course, other drivers will have the ability to set laps. We have got Spike and Luke both on laps, so they're going to be improving to try and set the benchmark a little bit higher. Haven't been able to set them so far, but they're going to go for it very, very soon. And Andrews comes out the final corner now. What's it going to be as they come across the line? It will be a 3rd place. Very, very nicely done. Almost 2/10 in it. And Spike goes and takes pole position. The 26.8. Lovely, lovely, lovely stuff. That is a half a second improvement on their time just then. And Andrews dwarfed by that time, then he does get ahead of Zingy for now, and Zingy does go into the pit lane, so if he wants to get another lap in, I don't know how easy it will be but I'm sure he'll give it a shot. I mean, 2 minutes and 20 seconds, you still got some time. It's gonna be tight the longer you leave it from now on, but you still got some time. Luke's gonna go around the final corner to start another lap as they've unfortunately invalidated Spike invalidated on this one, but it doesn't really matter too much. He's still on pole position. Let's watch on board with the McLaren, see how it's done. Goes into turn 1, rides the inside curve, then to the left-hand side curve, makes a bit of a mistake, and oh, that is not ideal. Bit of too much pressure as we watched on board just for a moment. So yeah, sorry Luke, I didn't mean to distract you, but we've got Maxet in P4 and an outlap, and Zingy goes on to an outlap as well. They're going to want to try and get round as soon as possible, really. They do have time to spare, just about, but it's going to be not tight. It's just you can't really take your time too much, especially in wet conditions. Cisco, right now, in P6. Comes around the final few corners. We saw them squirming on exit, doing some lovely tail whips. They seem somewhat controlled. Let's see if they can improve up the order a little bit more. What's it gonna be here around the final corner? It's a long run to the line, and it's horrible if you've got a high downforce setup, but if you've got the low downforce setup, it will be absolutely magical. And a P4 for Cisco on return, a 27.4. They could still get another lap in, but other than that, that's possibly going to be their final one. They might get another chance here. A 27.4 is on the cards. Luke, is he going to get another lap in? Can he take pole position? I don't think it will be. I think he's going to have to go again. But Spike retired from the session. Max Martin retired from the session at the back of the grid. Spike's confident of that one. Luke is going to have a second opportunity. Going for pole position here. Is it going to be possible? Down to turn 2, or down to turn 3, I should say, he goes. Looks tidy so far. Bumps that inside curb. Now to turn 4. Rides the exit curve as well. Turn 5 now. Slight lift. Into 6. Lovely corner here, nice and flowing. Really easy to lose the rear though in the wet conditions. David actually goes to P2 at 26.9. So Luke's actually got a bit more to fight for here as he now goes through the middle sector into the third sector. It's up by half a second. It's up by half a second. Could this be pole position? I didn't realise that. And Andrews is on a 26.8. How about that? A 26.8. Cisco a 27.1. It's all changing up right here. A 26.8 is now the lap time to beat. It was still from Spike, but it's even better. Even better. Can he get it? It's looking like it. He was on cue as we headed into the third sector. Now we leave the third sector. Now we leave the final corner. What's it going to be across the line? It's pole position. 26.1. Well done indeed. It's pole position for Luke. Is anybody else going to improve? I don't quite know. Zingy, so close as he goes to a 26.4. I'd say that was close. Luke's done an absolute masterclass lap there, right at the final moment. Fair play indeed. Well done to him. Amazing, amazing lap right at the end there. And I don't think anybody else is going to be able to challenge that one. Unless we could get someone, an Alfa Romeo, go across the line. David cannot improve. The McLaren's done it. Well done indeed. That was a brilliant, brilliant lap. How about that? It looked like Hend Andrews was going to get it there. And Luke then just found that one. That was mega. Zingy up to P2 after the struggles at the beginning of the session. Maxette into P3. Hend Andrews looking for pole, but it just didn't happen, and Spiker retired very early on. Unfortunately, has dropped all the way down to P5. So that was a heck of a mix-up towards the end. Luke's doing a phenomenal job. Winner of the feature race in Abu Dhabi. Can he do it again? Luke P1, P2 for Zingy, and then Maxette in P3. This is the rest of the grid. And then we will skim through the race director, the driver section, and the instance, just in case we need to later on. And then we'll be back for the sprint race. We'll see you in a bit. Hello everyone and welcome back to LSI Summer Season. We're today for the Friday tier, the Australian Grand Prix. We're on the formation lap getting warmed up for the sprint race. A lovely 10 lap rate of madness. I don't know what I was going to say. And Luke is on pole position. We have Zingy right behind him in P2. And then Maxette is in P3. We've got Hend Andrews followed by Spike, Davin, Cisco in P7. Cohen in P8, Eager Pro, Husam in P10, Dave Raptors, Vortex the other Alpine in P11 and 12, and then Gary Marco, Max Martin finish off the grid. Max Martin not setting a lap time. Now, let's see Luke Zingy once again at the front of the field. Last time Luke got the better, managed to secure that good exit back in Abu Dhabi. Zingy is going to be right behind. And he's going to have the DRS eventually. That's if he can hold on. But what a lap there from Luke. You just need to find it in the wet. You need to find the consistency. And it looked like Spike was going to take it. It looked like anybody could take it. And then Luke, it looked like he might have had a chance of pole position. But he had it by an absolute mile in the end. So really well done to him. Alrighty. We're just getting lined up on the grid now. And we're about to go racing once again in LSI. The first time in a while for the Australian Grand Prix. Hold your breath. Clench your butt cheeks. because we're about to go racing. Lights out and away we go. Who's gonna get it? What a camera angle from Codemasters here. This is phenomenal stuff, and we finally get it. Seeing he's jumped him off the line. What a move. And we got Andrew says, oh no, the other McLaren Husams off. The 2 Alpines are down, and there's a Williams also. I don't believe what I've just seen. That was a heck of a start, but the top 3 are doing a great job. And so that was Max set all the way down the order after a great qualified position. David goes round the outside of Spike there. Phenomenal stuff indeed. And Cohen up to P6 already. Lovely. Cisco unfortunately getting a time penalty. I didn't see where that was, but that isn't ideal as Husam's trying to make their way up the order. They've already made moves off the start. I didn't see if they got damaged. There was quite a bit of a scramble. We're going to go back to the race leaders here. Will Luke try and take back that lead early on? Uses the ERS a little bit just to keep the pressure on Zingy right there. And they've got Aaron Andrews right behind as well. So he's going to be there pouncing. He could possibly get them here as you go into the final few corners to start lap 2. What's going to happen? Zingy leads the way in Australia. Well done indeed for him. A brilliant launch off the line. It would have been nice to see the way they angled the cars, but the camera angle didn't quite show it. The top 5 split away, and Cohen leads the second train, P6 right now. Husam in P7 as he's passed Cisco. And then we have Egapro, the other Aston, in P9. Max Martin up to P10 after the start. Marco, Gary, and then we have Vortex. And Vortex, the Alpine, they had a spin earlier on. Both Alpines went off, unfortunately, but they're back in it. And we've unfortunately got Max hit a little bit further back, but they haven't made a pit stop, so they're good to go. Hopefully they don't have damage, but there's a chance they might do. It's just the new cars. You can kind of just drive with the damage, but we're going to go back to the race leaders just to see if there's any kind of switch up. I don't think we will see a switch up until we get to the DRS sections, but what a start. Lovely stuff. ERS being used, still being used on this straight. Don't quite know how much he's got, but of course Zingy's got to save his to defend. It's very difficult to overtake at this circuit. With the new changes, it might be a little bit easier to get closer, but turn 1 is going to be so difficult. So your main overtaking opportunity really is turn 4. Turn 3. Into turn 4. DRS is now enabled. Won't get it this straight. We'll get it on the next straight. And looking at here, right behind, we've got David and Spike. David goes slightly defensive, just to make sure that Spike doesn't get any idea of going for a move. Cohen 2 seconds behind these guys right now. He can still gain as these guys are following in a bit of a train. It will slow them down slightly, but he needs to gain sooner rather than later, because once they get that DRS, they'll be in a mega train, and there's nothing you can really do to stop them. Now we will watch on board with Zingy from behind. We've got Husam, unfortunately, down the order. Didn't see what happened there. He was ahead of the Astons as Max Martin makes a move on Egapro there. So he's done that very nicely. Closing up does Luke close up a bit. He does, but like I said, the main opportunity to overtake's probably not going to be until turn 3. So they're just going to use it to catch up. And then they'll use this straight, of course, to catch up. It is double DRS, though, so you might want to get a move done right now. He's pushing. He's not going to be close enough to get the move just yet. But he'll have a look as we go to turn 1. Going through for the first time. Is this going to be the first overtaking opportunity? As Luke will have a look. Goes to the outside, Zingy's not opening the door on the inside, and he makes his car as wide as possible. Luke's going to hold on for now, not going to make that move just yet. Zingy's car creating sparks out the back of it. He must be running pretty low. Right height right now if it's doing that. He goes through. Is Luke going to try and challenge here? I think he's pretty quick in a straight line. He's pulling them along. So he's doing a good job so far. And then we have Fernand Andrews. Even a little bit of a gap still in DRS though. Oh, we got a yellow. We got a yellow, and Hugh Sam's having more issues. No overtakes will be done right here. Will Spike have a look as Davin does go once again defensive to try and hold off Spike, but Spike doesn't want to wait. He wants to go for it now. He knows he has to make the move because otherwise they're going to run out of laps pretty quickly. There's only 10 laps. Davin once again making mistakes, and Spike's going to be all over the back of him this time, and surely he's going to go for the move. To the outside he'll have to go as Davin goes defensive. He's going to look for a switchback here on the Alfa Romeo. Once again with the race leaders though. Luke, will he challenge for the lead? He's got a good run, but it's cancelled out as we get to the end of the straight, and it's deja vu once again. And now if they keep on doing that, and Andrews could get a bit of an idea and try and figure out a move around the McLaren if that keeps happening. So yeah, that's an interesting situation, unless it's a strategy call by Luke, although he does have a time penalty, so he needs to get through as soon as possible, really. He's not got any time to waste. Hugh Sam retires from the session, and that is them down and out of the points, of course, not in contention for anything. They'll have to start last in the feature race. Sparked fine again as we see DRS open. No moves, of course, down here. We're not going to see anything. Spike not close enough to make a move. He got Cohen on his own now, followed by Cisco with Max Martin behind him. And then Eager Pro very, very close behind. So these guys doing well, but Cisco on return absolutely styling it right now, I have to say. Time penalty is there. He got it at the start, so I don't know if it's legit. But he is doing a very, very good job. Then we have Vortex finishing in the top 10. And then Marco in P11. Of course, Gary, Dave Raptors, and Max Set, and it's all very, very, very tricky right here. We're going to go back with the race leaders, though, as once again, Luke goes to the outside looking for a possible switchback this time, as he does almost get the better of Zingy, but Zingy knows what he's doing for now. He's just going to hold on, save that ERS and not use it too much, and David retires. He's retired on the exit of turn 5. I don't believe it. No, the exit of turn 4 hasn't even made it to turn 5. So what on earth happened there? He's lost the car on the rear, hit the wall on the left-hand side, and that is them out. A safety car is deployed on lap 6. A full safety car in the sprint race. That's going to mix things up massively. Obviously, we're all on the medium tyre. It's probably going to be the fastest tyre. It all depends on what Zingy does. If he goes for a set of softs, people are going to react. Are they going to want to go for a same tyre? Or are they going to try and hold track position? Zingy does a bit of a bait move there, but he doesn't go into the pits after all. I don't think anybody is going to be pitting, as it wouldn't really make much sense to do. Maybe the guys at the back will give it a shot. Of course, they've got nothing to really lose, but I think they're going to hold on for now. Do we see a driver go for it? There's a Ferrari into the pit lane. There are actually quite a few people in the pit lane there, as Max interestingly doesn't go for it, but Marco, Dave Raptors and Gary, they will opt for that soft tyre. And they're going to be pretty rapid. It's just going to be difficult to get moves. So time will tell if it works out for them. We're probably going to be going in this lap, so they don't have any time to waste. Gary's had a bit of a tricky situation going on. Of course, his teammate pits up ahead, so he does lose a bit of time. They should be able to catch up once we go in, but unfortunately for them, their tyres might be a little bit cold. I don't quite know. They still have some time to warm them up, but it could get a bit tricky. I don't know. Will the safety car be in this lap, or is it going to go in next lap on lap 8 out of 10? Just thinking, it usually has to be out for a full lap before it goes in, but we've run out of laps at the same time. So we're in a bit of a difficult situation, and I don't know what's going to happen here, honestly. The Ferrari catches up, the Alpine's almost there. Gary, not quite there. I think the safety car is going to stay out one more lap, and then we will go for it. Let's have a look at the time penalty, shall we? 3 seconds for Luke, which is not ideal, especially with the safety car coming into play. As, you know, everybody's going to be bunching up. Then we have Cisco also getting that 5 second. I don't know if that was legit, if that was a crash that he caused, or if he was forced to cut the corner or something like that. I don't quite know. If it is, it's not going to get removed for the feature race, the qualifying order, but it will be able to get removed afterwards, and he might be able to score points here if he does finish in the points for the sprint race. Max Martin and Eager Pro both for 3 seconds. So Luke, Max Martin and Eager Pro got time penalties for exceeding track limits, and then we have Cisco, who has got a time penalty for not really a known reason, but I'd say an incident for now. Zingy leads the way as we are on lap 8 out of 10. We will be going racing on lap 9 out of 10 with a 2-lap sprint to the end. How about that? That is pretty insane. 7-lap hold soft for Vortex. He's going to be in a bit of a struggling situation right now. Those guys behind on the fresh softs, everybody else on the 7-lap hold mediums. Vortex is going to have a very, very difficult time. Now, we're going to wait for that confirmation. There you go. There it is. Zingy is going to be the one to, once again, lead the safety car restart. Everybody behind him will have to react. You know how Zingy is. He's very, very good at these safety car restarts. You never know when he's going to go. Will he be able to catch out Luke this time? Or will Luke learn the better? I think they followed behind Zingy on a couple of safety car restarts now. They might have figured a thing or two about him. Safety car coming round the final corner before the pit entry. And there you go, it's into the pits. Zingy's gone for it. He's gone for it very, very early, and it's worked. It's worked pretty nicely. Max set down the order off the... I don't know what happened there, if they've lost it trying to warm up their tyres or not, but Luke had the chance to try and catch back up after that restart. And oh, there's a big crash, I think. That was Max Martin and Vortex down the order. They've, I think, slammed into the wall after the final corner. I don't know, maybe it wasn't Vortex, it was just Max Martin. I didn't quite see what was happening there, but back to the race leaders. As Luke has said, he did catch back up. He had those corners to regain that time, but Zingy's got a bit of a situation that he's in. He can relax with the time penalty. It's 1 point difference, depending on who's got the fastest lap, of course. Maybe it's a 2 point difference, but qualifying wise, he will take that P1. He just doesn't want to be stormed by End Andrews, so they got to be really careful. Marco down the order, as I think that was Eager Pro going up the order, or was that Spike going down the order? He's dropped behind Cisco off the line. Dave Raptor's improving, but down and makes a mistake. I don't believe it. I do not believe it. On the final few laps, it's getting pretty tricky, and Luke once again is just waiting. I don't know if he is going to actually go for the lead here, or if he's just going to try and hold on and secure this position and pray that he doesn't drop as far back as he thinks he's going to drop. Of course, with those crashes, it's definitely going to help him a massive amount. Cohen a second behind. Then we have Cisco P4 Spike all the way down here as well. Gary and Marco are even further down, as lots of people making mistakes on the final few laps. End Andrews just watching behind. These guys not going to make a move into turn 4. Luke braking late, but it's not enough. Zingy's just got to hold on, and he will win once again. He's yet to win a feature race in the summer season. He's won a sprint race before. Can he repeat it? Looks like it so far. Unless he makes a mistake in the final few sectors, and Luke makes a mistake and they get themselves a time penalty, another one. So that's a 6-second time penalty now. He's going to drop far back now down to the order. I think he's going to drop around about 6th place. quite possibly, maybe even further if he's not careful. I don't believe it. Lots of people spreading out in the end. Cisco's looking for a P5 possibly here. And Zingy comes around the final corner. I think it's over. He didn't get him in the end. He didn't get the run. Zingy's going to come around the final few corners. Unless Luke can find a dive bomb here, I don't think it's going to be possible. What a race. Is he going to be able to get a final run on the ERS? It's not going to be possible. Zingy wins the Australian Grand Prix sprint race. What a job. Well done indeed. Followed by Luke and Andrews. I say that. And Andrews P2. Cohen in P3. Then Spike takes P4. Luke to P5. And then we have Gary in P6. Eager Pro Max set. Cisco in P9. And then we have Vortex, Max Martin and Marco finishing off the order. How about that? Luke was 7 tenths away from losing another position to Gary, but they do secure some points and a P5 in the sprint race. I think he's done it. What a race. Alrighty, Zingy takes the win for the sprint, and Andrews in P2 taking that 7 points. So we have Cohen, Spike, Luke, Gary Eager, Pro Max, Cisco, Vortex, Max Martin, Marco, and then Dave Raptors finishing. Of course, Davin DNF'd earlier on, and Hugh Sam as well. No one gets the fastest lap point, as it's not counted. Apparently we've not got the race director, so I don't think we're going to be able to check that one out, unfortunately. I think that's going to be it. Sorry for that. We'll be back in a little bit. See you in a minute. Hello everyone and welcome back to the LSI Summer Season. We're today for the Australian Grand Prix, just getting warmed up for the feature race where the points really count. And Zingy's on pole position, and Andrews in P2, a fair race from him. Luke as well, of course, they had a lot of consistency. The other guys did as well, but it just got split up after the safety car restart. It got very hectic. Cohen takes that P3 spot, and then Spike in P4. Luke getting that time penalty drops only to P5, and then Gary in P6. We have Eager Pro in P7, Max in P8 after their great qualifying, but unfortunate sprint race. But they do get 1 point at least. Cisco in P9. I say that Cisco might get a time penalty removed. Cisco P9, as I said. Vortex in P10, Max Martin in P11, Marco, Dave Raptors, Davin. And then we have Hugh Sam and Toco9 joining late on as reserve for the Mercedes team. Unfortunately, they've overtaken 2 cars. Not quite sure why, but here's what it is. Unfortunately, Hugh Sam making a mistake on the formation lap. Alrighty. Let's get going. Let's see if the game gives us a better camera. Don't quite know. You never know with this game. Alrighty. Hold your breath. Clench your butt cheeks because we're about to go racing for the Australian Grand Prix. Ready. Hold. Go! Who's gonna get it? When will we be able to find out? And that looks like Ziggy go to the right hand side of the circuit to hold off End Andrews, and he does so. Cohen side by side. Is he gonna be able to take it? No, it goes off circuit. End Andrews holds it. Are they gonna regain that position? I think they will do. Cohen, can he hold it back around the outside? I don't think he can. I don't quite know. Has to go to the curb and back, so fair play indeed. Spike in P4, and then we have Luke holding P5. The top five stayed the same. Cisco in P6 after that one. Gary, then Max Martin. We have Vortex and Marco in P10. Dave Raptors, Houston, Max Set, Pro down the order, and Toko 9 and Davin unfortunately not gaining any positions. But the top three stay the same, top five stay the same as they are. Cisco, what a start from him. Well done indeed. That was perfect stuff. It's sad that we couldn't really see it, but it is what it is. And Andrews once again gets a pretty good start, a pretty casual start. They hold on to their position. They did have a bit of a battle with Cohen, but they haven't lost that much time to Zingy. Now Zingy is going to have to focus here and try and escape the DRS. Didn't do it for the sprint, and it actually worked out pretty nicely. It's pretty difficult to actually overtake it. It's difficult to escape DRS range, but it's very, very difficult to overtake. So that is a slight advantage that the race leader has, of course. And switcheroos with Max Martin, Gary, also couple drivers switching positions. And that's oh no! Cohen's out! Cohen's down and out! I didn't see what happened. We got Pro leaving the session, didn't see what happened with him. But that is more issues and a full safety car, I'm going to assume. After that one, it is a virtual safety car only. And I don't know if there was actually contact with anyone. We got Toko here, followed by Davin, who's actually, of course, an AI. They left the session earlier. And then, yeah. I didn't see what happened there. That's unfortunately going out. Oh, Cohen, that's not nice. No, that's not nice. So sorry, Cohen, to hear that. I'll message you later and talk about it. But that's annoying. You had good pace. Sorry, Cohen. Virtual safety car already ended, and what a restart from Zingy. And Andrew's been caught napping a little bit there. He's got a decent gap to Spike as well, but still within DRS range as the AlphaTauri. And that's going to put them under threat once DRS does kick in. Zingy goes for fastest lap. So lovely stuff from him. DRS is enabled, so End Andrews has got to do something special. Otherwise, they're going to be in a bit of a situation. Awesome, Cohen. Good to hear that. I like that attitude. So End Andrews, 0.8 seconds, around about 0.9. Can he get it to that 1 second, or is Spike going to do enough? Looks pretty close now. Where's that DRS line? Oh. That is a thingy up ahead, losing a bit of time, and End Andrews almost into the DRS. I think he's just about missed it, unfortunately. DRS isn't available, but it is for Spike. Spike will catch up, so I don't see what happened to Zingy. They lost about, I think, was it about half a second they lost, so that's a bit of a loss of a rear, I guess you could say. Not really a spin. But yeah, that's not ideal. It's great for End Andrews if he can hold on to the DRS here. Now, there's going to be a massive train once again, as we saw in the sprint. and no one will be able to really pass. Toko 9 unfortunately making a mistake, and Husam also going down the order a little bit. Spike goes for a fastest lap as we have Gary M tumbling down the order, as I think they've made a mistake on the final corner, or are they trying to go into the pit lane? I don't quite know, but they're going to have to wait to go to the pit lane. And it's another yellow sector as we go for turn 1, and I think that's Maxet unfortunately round. Not ideal. These guys stay as they are. Luke, a little bit of a gap, but still in the DRS range, of course. It's just a big train with the top 4. Cisco 1.9 seconds behind. He wasn't close enough earlier on, and the virtual safety car didn't exactly help. And then we have Max Martin in P6 in the DRS range right now. Vortex in P7. And then we have Marco in P8. Followed by Dave Raptors, Igapro in the top 10. And then outside the top 10 is Hugh Sam, Davin, the AI. So it's actually then Gary, Toko. And then we have Maxet. Alrighty. And Andrews is going to be the one to react here. Are they going to think smart and wait, not go for that move? Or are they just going to try and power through and create a bit of a battle? I don't quite know. Looking at it right now, looking at the gap, there's no reason to really push for a move on Zingy. You kind of have to wait later on, of course. But I don't know. Holds on, and he makes a mistake. He's made a big mistake, and Zingy goes down the order. He's going to drop behind Spike as well. Tries to fight the position back. Now it's the outside line. I think Spike might have it. No, has to yield, and does manage to get the position back, but now End Andrews leads the Grand Prix. Zingy makes a mistake on the exit of turn 1 or 2-ish. I didn't quite see what happened. It was kind of a bit off camera there. And End Andrews is now up into the first spot on the grid. Spike almost at that P2, but Zingy was not willing to let it go. Usam drops another position as they make a mistake at turn 5, losing the car, unfortunately, once again. They got pace in the car. It's just not quite there when it comes to keeping it around. Looks like Zingy's quick. He wants to get back through, but he's not going to be able to get through just yet. Bit of a touch. Oh no! Oh no! A big touch, and that almost caused End Andrews to spin round, and Spike was right there. Luke had a look, but they backed off, and now Zingy's going to make that move. Very, very cheeky there for Zingy. Spike, can he hold on as well? Can he go for a move? Don't quite know. If he wants to, he's going to have to go for the run. Of course, End Andrews won't get DRS. So this is actually a great position for Spike to be in, but he's made a mistake, and Luke will now go through. And Spike's going to drop down, and after all that battling, Cisco is in the DRS range. Cisco and Max Martin are joined it, and Luke's round! No way! Luke is round! Drops down the order, down to P7. Oh, I don't believe it. The tyres are going to be hot. He's got to be careful here. He does manage it nicely, but that is such a shame. Looking like an absolute legend, now down the order. I didn't actually see if there was contact or if they lost the car, but they were right ahead of Spike. I don't think there was contact, but there might have been. We'll have to look at the replay later on. Heck of a corner cut for End Andrews. Got to the DRS and catches back up to Zingy a little bit. Spike, of course, in P3, 7 tenths behind right now. They're still in the DRS range, but 7 tenths is the kind of position you've got to think not too safe. But once you're about 6 tenths, it's a little bit easier to manage. Cisco in P4, and then we have Max Martin in P5. That is now the top 5. Luke, of course, dropping out of the battle, out of the train, unfortunately. But these guys all just in a big slipstream train, and no one's going to be able to make a move. And Andrews has no reason to really push at this stage of the race. Maybe later on, yeah, sure, go for a move, but right now it's not really going to be viable. If he could go for the move before the pit stops, that would help him massively. But right now, lap 7, we got a couple laps until we see any kind of moves for the pit stop. This is the closest battle, as Hugh Sam does retire from the session in the pit lane. And that is, unfortunately, them out once again, and they will not be scoring any points after all. Luke's the only McLaren in the race here. Well, End Andrews has nothing to... Not much reason to fight. I'm saying this because Spike is right there, and with the DRS, it does help Spike a little bit, of course. End Andrews a little bit to hold on ahead of Spike. Spike, of course, gets the DRS as well. And ERS has been found to... is found to be more powerful than DRS, of course. But, anything can help here. Anything can help. I think he's not escaping this time, as he was earlier on, of course. This time he's right there, close up, not going to be able to make any kind of move. And Spike's just being patient. I obviously don't know what he's thinking right now inside the cockpit. It might be a little bit different. He did a full 10 laps, sat behind these guys in the sprint, and now he's going to have to do it again for the time being. But hopefully we can see him get some good battling. We know Spike's very, very quick. He's had some terrible luck, though. And that is Gary Ementoko off the circuit. A full safety car, I believe, is that. That is a full safety car this time, not a virtual safety car. That is now going to allow everybody to catch up. Luke will get a second chance. Now, the time penalty drivers will not be too happy, and Gary retires from the session as well. So that is an interesting situation to be in. But into the pit lane they go. Spike going for a set of hards, and I assume everybody else probably be doing the same. We'll put the data up on the screen, of course. Pit stops, tyres we want to look at right now. Everybody's going to go for the hards. Everybody was on the mediums, so there's not really much reason to go for anything different unless you really want to be risky with it, or stay out, as Dave Raptors finds out is the better option. Vortex is going to go for the very aggressive strategy right here, so that is an interesting situation to be in. So yeah, the Alpines are definitely changing things up. Davin's AI has put on a set of softs, so maybe they know something that we don't. Eager Pro and Maxet both onto a set of hards. Now, having a quick look at the time penalties. The bad thing is, with a safety car, it brings everybody closer together, and it destroys the gap that you've just created from the other cars. So, if you do have a time penalty, you're in a bit of a situation. Max Martin, 3-second time penalty. As we have Eager Pro, Maxet with a 3 and a 3-second time penalty as well. And a 5-second penalty for Vortex, who's just pitted, so I think he must have got that while speeding in the pit lane. Maxet unfortunately getting another 3 seconds under the safety car conditions, and unless that's a bug, that's not likely to get removed because, you know, you're still in control of the vehicle. So unfortunately, that is not ideal there for Maxet. We'll go back on to the tyre situation for this one. We didn't do it for the sprint race, there wasn't really much of a need to, at least until the safety car. But right now, we're just going to be waiting for everyone to bunch back up, and we'll be getting ready to go. We'll be getting ready to go racing now. Looks like we're going to be going in on the next lap. Of course, Maxet hasn't quite caught up, and the safety car hasn't been out for a full lap yet, so it's understandable. Dave Raptors not pitting. Now, they've jumped not many, a few people from doing so. They might be quicker initially, but they're going to get a fair bit slower quite quickly. Vortex is going to be rapid off the line. They're going to not want to hold on at all, but the tyres will drop off around about lap 4, and on to 5 they'll get pretty slow. And it's not the best tyre to go for. You're going to have to make at least another pit stop, and he's going to have to go to the hards anyway, so that's a difficult situation for Vortex, but it might work. Maybe he's thinking there might be another safety car, which in that case, if there is another safety car, he could be in luck, but it would have to be pretty soon, and no one else is going to want to pit because they've just pitted for the hards. Only drivers will be pitting if it gets to around about lap 20. maybe 23 even. That's the only time people will pit. Alrighty, sorry for the delay, just checking if everything's alright. So far it looks okay. Of course we had a bit of an unfortunate incident in the final few laps of the sprint, but we got the safety car in this lap. Once again, Zingy is in P1, and then we have End Andrews, who's going to be leading the way off the circuit, goes Zingy a little bit, so he's going to have to try and scrape off that gravel that he's got. Trying to replicate his hero Carlos Sainz there. But he should be good to go anyway. Wait for that safety car to go in. You know how it is for Zingy. And then they'll go for it. And Andrews going to be reacting this time compared to Luke. When will Zingy go for it? And he's gone for it. Lovely stuff. Once again, a very similar place that he restarted. And he's caught and Andrews a fair bit by surprise. He's jumped about a 7/10 gap, you could say, if we rounded up. So that's going to allow him to he only needs to gain now 4/10 on End Andrews, and he will be out of that DRS range. So this is a perfect opportunity for Zingy. So actually, he's probably loving this. A 3-second there for Vortex and for Luke. Unfortunately, Spike missed out on that massively, struggling to get the traction down, and he's lost DRS on End Andrews. He has to push if he wants to get it. Otherwise, Cisco and Max Martin are going to be right on his tail. Marco into P6 now, as the safety car does help them catch back up. So this is great to see them in the battle. And Luke did unfortunately lose a position to Marco. They've also just got that time penalty, and so did Vortex, and they're close together. Vortex jumped up ahead. They're on that soft tire. They need to really make these moves sooner rather than later. So we could see a move here from Vortex if they can get a good enough run, but they can't. They have to slam the brakes on. That's going to wear their tyres out significantly. And what a great opportunity. Turned to not so much of a great one, unfortunately. And no way is that a full safety car for a spin, unless we've got damage. Let's have a look at the black boxes. It is a full safety car for a damaged front wing, and that is unfortunately Maxet, of course. Vortex will get a chance to pit, which is good news for him. Davin's AI will also pit, and Giga Pro right there. We've got Maxet retiring from the session. And unfortunately, that is another car out of the race. But what a controversial moment, I have to say. Another safety car within like a lap, which is very, very weird and pretty annoying for the drivers, because of course Zingy's just got that banger of a restart, and Andrews has got a banger of a restart as well, and they've automatically lost it. So Spike gets a second opportunity, and it means once again we won't get DRS for another few laps. So yeah, the F122 game is pretty good, but it has its disadvantages. Let's just say that. We are a reduced safety car, so it is a heck of a surprise to see this happen, but we'll see. It might change. Safety car not going to be going in this lap. It will go in on the next lap. So Vortex will be able to catch back up, and then we will be good to go. Alrighty. Bit of a loss of the rear for Cisco, but just say it's a warming up technique. It might be. These guys are warming up their tyres a little bit. Of course, with the hard tyre and the new game, of course, it's just generally harder to warm up your tyres, and the hard tyre is going to be extremely difficult to warm up. So these guys are trying to keep a certain amount of temperature in them throughout the lap, and then later on they will warm them up a little bit more. Zingy and then Andrews, of course, they're just relaxing for now. They're probably not going to warm up their tyres until turn 5, 6-ish, maybe on the exit of 6 possibly. They'll be warming up their tyres pretty aggressively. And that will, of course, save a bit of tyre wear. And it will still allow them to warm up their tyres a certain amount. It just might be a little bit more difficult, and they will have to weave a little bit more aggressively. Whereas everybody else who warms up throughout the lap, they will be able to just do it consistently. I don't know what the best situation is, and yes, on the exit of turn 5 they do warm up their tyres, and Andrews follows on, everybody else behind. They've done it somewhat anyway, so they don't really need to worry about it too much. And we will be going racing as we come in this lap. We haven't got the confirmation yet, but I can pretty much be 99% certain, unless there's a game bug, that it will come in. Just crossing that sector line, and there it is. Safety car in this lap. Zingy, once again, will be the one to take that restart. End Andrews is going to be the one to react. Warms up those tyres. Get everything ready. Saved all that ERS. Everybody's good to go now. Who's going to get it? He's really waiting for that safety car to go in this time. He's really waiting for it to go in. Oh, that was cheeky, but he's maybe got away with that one. He's got to be mega careful. Safety car into the pit lane, and he can go for it anytime. Well done, End Andrews. He reacts lovely. What a reaction there from End Andrews. However, Spike unfortunately didn't react too well compared to End Andrews, and once again, I think we're in the same position, although End Andrews is actually, instead of 7 tenths behind, 2 tenths. Has a quick look to spot his braking point. He's so close he can't see it. Might even have a look if he's going to push on the ERS. Gets a run, and he is going to have a look. To the outside he'll go, because once again, Zingy defends to the inside. Not going to challenge him there. Looking for maybe a possible switchback, but I think he's hold on for now, and well done to Zingy to defend from that one. But what a restart for End Andrews. That does lose them the gap that they gained from Spike, but it's still a heck of a opportunity there. Cisco unfortunately not able to carry with Spike, as Max Martin's right behind them, so they're going to be trying to look for moves sooner rather than later. They are going to have a look at a move right now. In fact, to the outside line they go, but Cisco's on the inside line and they have the priority. Backs off, lets them go. Might have another go at some other part of the circuit. Will they get a good enough run? Cisco does go defensive. He goes defensive, and there's contact. Max Martin, pushing him off a little bit wide. Loses the car, might have damage, and he's going to have to let the Ferrari go through. Sticks his nose in, interestingly, and should have backed out of that one, but he's done that, and the Ferrari now takes it. Eventually gets ahead. Max Martin once again going to try and fight back. Not willing to lose that position, and Max is now ahead. Alrighty, will the Ferrari try and catch back up? There's contact with the wall as Max Martin goes off. Marco will be able to go through into the corner. A bit of a touch as he goes slightly deep. Max Martin not going to be happy with that one. Oh, and there's slight contact there. I didn't quite see it. We're on board, and that didn't quite work out, unfortunately. We'll have to maybe look at a replay later on if we get a POV shot, but unfortunately that is Max Martin down the order. A very hard fight. So yeah, that's not an easy situation to be in, and it's him out of the session. Alrighty. And Andrews in P2 holds on nicely and doing a phenomenal job. Top 3 just in a train of their own. Cisco 2.1 seconds behind. DRS is available now, which will allow them to run away a little bit. Just trying to find my words. Sorry for the delays. I didn't mean to. I'm just, I've just lost my train of thought, honestly. They wrapped us into the pit lane, interestingly. Gonna set a new, fresh, hard tyre on, which is interesting. Unfortunately, I guess they've got a bit of damage. But yeah, Vortex on that medium tyre. So, did they not start on the medium tyre, or did they have an issue early on that caused them to pit, and they've gone to a set of hards already? I don't know if they could go to the end on the mediums, but they're going to be pretty quick, and we will actually have a look here with Vortex. He is right behind Luke. Luke's got the DRS, and they might try and challenge Marco soon, but it looks like they're going to have to wait for now. And Vortex is going to want to react sooner rather than later, as soon as possible, to have a look at him and move. Luke is really quick compared to the Ferrari, and is all over the back of it, but not able to get quite close enough. Vortex not able to get a good enough run despite the beneficial tyres. Luke's having a bit of a look, just psyching himself up into turn 1, and he'll have a final look into turn 3. Gonna try and outbrake him into the corner maybe. Vortex goes to the outside line, and it's gonna be a send from the McLaren to the inside line. There's contact! Oh no! More contact! I don't believe it! I don't believe it! Luke, unfortunately, there's a bit of understeering. He goes into the Ferrari, causes them to spin round. They both lose the position to Vortex there, unfortunately. I don't believe it. That was such a shame. It was looking like a good battle as well. Just didn't quite go to plan in the end. But Vortex gets 2 free positions, and now they can focus on catching up to Cisco up ahead. The top 3 just minding their own business right now. Nothing to really challenge about. Fully RS looking like for everybody here, and they're just holding on. That AlphaTauri looks very fresh from the cockpit cam, I have to say. He's 6 tenths behind. It's not too far, it's just a little bit of a distance. Maybe he's hoping that the guys ahead can fight soon, and he'll have a bit of distance to react if they do have a bit of a kerfuffle, if you like, we could call it. But I think it's just going to be what it is for now. And a 3.4 second is the gap that Vortex has to Cisco. Watch how that changes, keep note of it. We'll have a look at it in a little bit. We're going to look back with Luke and P7. We'll see if he can maybe have another go at Marco. And, of course, he made contact with the Ferrari. Unfortunately, the Ferrari didn't actually go straight away, which is fair enough. It was a pretty quick incident. Now, Luke could have got damage from that. It was very, very light contact, so it might not have been damage, but it was still quite possible that he got damage from it. DRS is available, but he's not going to be going for a move just yet. He's going to hold on for now. Ferrari will live to fight another day. And what they got to do now is try and minimise the gap that Vortex pulls, and later on in the race, when the hard tyres are faster than the mediums, they will be able to get back ahead. A bit of a mistake there, and he spun it! I don't believe it! Marco's round, unfortunately. Ah, what a shame. What a shame. It was looking like a nice battle once again, but this time it's not quite there, as that is the AI of David having to take it off the racing line. Blazinghi holds on to the lead, 6 tenths in between both these guys, now 5 tenths if you make it, and Andrews and Spike holding on. Cisco is almost 4 seconds behind now, and we have Vortex, of course, in P5. Thank you very much for the subscription, I appreciate it very much. Welcome to the community. Vortex is the man to watch right now. 2.6 seconds. He is closing to Cisco. Will he close enough to be able to fight? Rides that curb. Doesn't get a time penalty. Might have got a warning for that one, unfortunately. but he'll hold on for the time being. Alrighty, Vortex. 2.6 seconds. Not gaining too much in the final sector here. This is pretty quick for the amount of time that they've had away from the game, I have to say. Of course, they're not in the top 3, but from the experience in the new game that they've had, compared to everybody else, he's doing a very, very good job. Very, very good job. Indeed it is, Kozak. Indeed it is. I do agree. These top 3, they're being civilized now, but I can tell you something. These guys are not going to be friends later on. They're not going to be friends later on. They're going to be battling for the lead. Hopefully they can keep it clean and still be friends, of course, and just have a nice, good old battle for the win. But it could get a little bit crazy towards the final few laps. Of course, he's going to do everything he can to hold on to the lead. He wants to try and go for the championship, and I think mathematically it's possible. It's just going to be very difficult. This also would mean Zingy gets his first double win this weekend. Of course, he won the sprint race in Abu Dhabi, but not the feature race, and unfortunately didn't get any win in the sprint or feature race last time around in Australia as well. He got pole position. No, he didn't get pole position, actually. He started at the back, didn't he, of course. But yeah, Zingy wants this pretty badly, and End Andrews in P2 looking for his first ever win. Spike wants to show what he's got. This is his first opportunity since his bad luck in the first 2 races in the F1 22 game, of course. And he deserves to be in this top spot. It's just, can he get that win? Can he get that win? He's got a couple poles this season. It just needs to be there. The points have to be there. Looking back, Vortex, 1.9 seconds. He has caught 2 of the guys behind. But it's not enough right now. Not enough just yet. Alrighty. Yellow sector, unfortunately. That is for Vortex. So after gaining all that time, now down the order, waits for the cars to pass, and now once again rejoins the race. They're looking to go to the end of this race on the mediums, but will they want to do it? They've got a whole pit stop between them and the cars behind, so they could in theory just go for a fastest lap towards the end and look for go for a set of softs and look for a fastest lap at the end. But right now it's pretty difficult. He's just going to have to hold on and hope that he can get past Eager Pro, of course. Now he would have to get past Luke, who is fairly close to Eager Pro, but I don't know if the medium tyre will actually be fast enough. We'll actually have a look at the time penalties as well. 3 seconds for Luke Igor, a 6 second for Vortex, and a 3 second for Max, although they are AI, of course. But yeah, 3 seconds for those guys up ahead. So Vortex would have to finish 3 seconds ahead of both Luke and Eager Pro if he wants to finish ahead of them on points-wise. On track, he can get ahead, but it wouldn't be enough. Still needs to get it, and unfortunately, another spin. That's not going to help at all, and he's going to drop now to... Well, he's going to drop the gap, I should say. He wouldn't fall out of the points because, of course, Max Martin and Davin's AI are both out of this race. They won't be improving, or they won't be classed as finished. Meaning that Dave Raptors will actually finish 9th as long as he gets to the end of the race. Now we look with the top 3 and Zingy's round! I don't believe it! Zingy's round! We just about caught it! I don't think it was contact! I think he's just lost the rear! Spike into the lead! And End Andrews now at P2! Will Spike show his true pace? He's been in a train all his life! Not all his life, but he's been in a train for so long. And now he's been set free. And Andrews cannot afford to lose the DRS if he wants to try and go for this win. I don't believe what I've just seen, and I've jinxed it once again. 2 races in a row. DRS is maintained for Andrews, and it allows him to catch back up. But Zingy is going to be furious with himself. Absolutely furious with himself right now. I don't believe it. No way has Zingy just done that. He's going to hope these guys either make mistakes or absolutely push like a madman and get back in the battle, which is very, very possible with Zingy. You never know. He's very, very quick when he wants to be. He can be very tactical as well, and he's out. Just about keeps it together, but he loses his front wing. Unfortunately, Zingy's day has gone from bad to worse. Oh, I don't believe it. That is a safety car. A virtual safety car there. That has once again been caused due to a front wing loss. Which isn't ideal, but it is what it is. Luke and Vortex are both going to be able to benefit from this. They'll both be able to get into the pit lane and get a fresh set of softs on. So they'll be looking to try and push. They'll lose less time they would have if they pitted, of course, in normal conditions, but it's not really going to be that much time, unfortunately. It'll be pretty tricky to still gain 10 seconds to EagerPro on a set of softs. Might be possible, but it's still very, very difficult to actually do. They're going to have to get a very good run from the virtual safety car restart. Now, what's going to happen here? When will the restart be gone? And Andrews needs to try his best to hold on to DRS. A virtual safety car, a drive through there for Vortex, and a pit stop for Spike. A pit stop for Spike. And Andrews now leads the way. Zingy makes the pit stop, of course, after that. Cisco is going to be promoted to P2 as Spike goes for a very, very interesting pit stop. Have they done it? Have they got a drive-through? They got a drive-through. I didn't realise that. When did they get a drive-through penalty? Penalties. I don't know what they just did. They didn't make a pit stop or anything. I didn't see them get a drive-through. I think it might have been overshadowed by Vortex's one, and he manages to go into the pit lane for it, and now End Andrews is in the lead of the Grand Prix. Spike doesn't drop behind EagerPro, so they've still got a pretty good advantage, but Cisco in P2, and imagine if Zingy didn't make that mistake out of the final corner, they would have now been in P2, and they'd only have to catch back up to End Andrews to win this race. End Andrews now has a 4.3 second gap to the cars behind, and it's looking oh so good right now. He is in a very good position. 25 out of 29. I'm not even going to watch him because I don't want to jinx anything else. Cohen leaves the session. Of course, they retired earlier on, unfortunately. That's fair play. And Luke is in P6. They've got DRS on Vortex as long as they can hold on to it up to turn 9. They're both on the same tyre pretty much. So they're going to be looking for a good old equal battle here. That's actually not Vortex, sorry, that's Zingy. Zingy's got 1 lap fresher tyres, so whether you'd call that an advantage, it's possible with the new game on the soft tyre, it could be an advantage, but still, DRS will be there for Luke. He'll be able to catch up nicely still, so these guys are going to be battling hard to the end. Lovely fastest lap there indeed now. I think he's just about escaped DRS, but still Luke has it. Of course, it's a double DRS zone. Zingy's going to push as hard as he can to escape it now, though. He doesn't have any time penalties, so he can still get within a 3-second range of EagerPro, which is only about half a second now. And he will be in a good position to make an overtake, of course. We'll have a quick look at the time penalties just to confirm it is a 3-second time penalty. And yeah, EagerPro is now going to be passed by Zingy for P4. He's still got a long old way to get for a podium, but I don't know. It might not be possible just to get a podium, but we'll have to wait and see. Cisco is actually gaining on End Andrews. So with a now we're on lap 27 out of 29. We've got a 3-lap race to go. It's not going to be that easy to do, but it's still, in theory, possible. If he can gain a second a lap, he would have a shot at going for the win, but I don't quite know. I don't quite know. Zingy goes for another fastest lap. Lovely stuff indeed. And really on the charge here. Actually already nice and close to Igor. Doesn't have DRS. They didn't get it into the final corner, so you can really see how quick they actually are. They might have to try and push for a move here as they lose the car on the exit. Now they might have a go into turn 6. Igapro not really that slim. They're pretty wide, and Zingy loses the rear. Will Luke be able to capitalise on this? It's a long run. That is not a nice place to lose the car, of course, because you've got this whole straight to actually go through, losing all that top speed. Igapro's going to now escape. Is it going to be enough to get out of DRS range? It's not. And Zingy, by miracle, has held on to that DRS range. I don't know if you would call it a miracle or not with the situation he's in. A headache, more like. And he's going to be able to catch back up, get a second chance to get ahead of Igor, on track, of course, and get as close as he possibly can to Spike. If he can get within 5 seconds, if Spike had done something very naughty, which I don't think he has done, then in theory Zingy could get a podium. But it's always worth a shot, but I think Spike has been pretty clean today. He's done a very good job. Cisco is catching up nicely. He's found pace, and End Andrews, with a 2.6 second gap, could be under threat after all. It looked pretty good, but they might be in a bit of trouble. I don't know what the situation is, if Cisco's just picked up the pace, if End Andrews have got damage or a lack of fuel. Didn't lift into that corner, and if you're going to try and save fuel, that would be a corner that you have to lift for. So, you didn't do it. And I say you have to lift, I say you would lift because you could gain so much. Zingy's going to look for a move here on the inside of Igapro. They're going to have to back off as they don't get alongside enough, of course. DRS to be available though, and they're going to get a good run to the inside line as Igapro tries to hold it, but not enough, and Zingy finds his way through, although not far enough through. Forces actually Iga to make a mistake, doesn't even need to go side by side. I think he actually backed off, but Igor just went off himself anyway, and that does allow him to get ahead. Igapro's going to get the DRS, and they'll be able to defend from Luke somewhat, but if can Luke push on the ERS, and he might have a go, but I don't think he will. He's going to have to hold on for now. He needs to get a good run here if he wants to go for it. He's got the soft tire, should be able to get a pretty decent run. He's looking good. He'll have the grip on the brakes. Go for the dummy. Lovely, lovely stuff. And understeers a little bit. There's a slight bit of contact. And Igapro has to go to the car, but he's lost the car! No! No, no, no! As he just lost the car from that one. Vortex is way too far back and he won't lose any positions. But Igapro, oh, no, no, no. That is such a shame. Looking like a good battle once again. Vortex retires at turn 2. At turn 2 on the final lap of the Grand Prix. And Cisco was catching, but eventually it's not been enough as End Andrews finds a whole second in the final lap. I think he was just saving. He's gone and showboated at the very end. And he's going to do it for the first time ever in LSI history. And Andrews comes around the final corner. And they're going to win the Australian Grand Prix. Well done to Andrews. Cisco is going to take P2 on return to the F1 series. And then Spike's going to take P3 after a very, very good deserved podium. It's a shame for that drive-through for sure. But unfortunately, he's going to have to take that one. Zingy P4, Luke P5, Igor will take a P6 in the end. And then we have Marco taking the P7 and Dave Raptors will take that P8, of course. And then Davin and Max Martin's cars will be classed as DSC, disconnected. But what a race we just had. What a race we just had. End Andrews has won the Grand Prix. Cisco. What a job. And Marco all of a sudden's won it. Well done indeed. Lovely game bug. Don't be fooled. It is End Andrews who has won the race. But what a job. What a job. Kept consistent. And he's the man to do it in the end, of course. Didn't really make any mistakes. As far as I could see. And it's what gets you these moments, these wins. Well done indeed. Phenomenal job. Marco driver of the day. Fair enough. I think it's because he disconnected and he rejoined, but yeah. Okay, we'll take a bit of a different podium celebration. Marco doesn't win, but End Andrews wins. Then we have Cisco P2. Then we have Spike. Then we have Zingy. Then we have Eager Pro. Then we have Luke. That is extremely mixed up. Unless that's the actual grid and we've just been watching a random race. I don't quite know. We're going to look through the race director. This time the game does let us look through the race director. And then we'll skim through. Actually, that's why the results are like that, because I was looking at the overall weekend. My bad for that one. We'll look at the sprint, of course, right here. And then we'll go through the feature race. End Andrews, then we have Cisco who won. Then we have Spike in P3. Then we have Zingy, Luke, Eager Pro, Dave Raptors. And then it was Marco, Max Martin and David, I think. And then, of course, Maxette, Gary, Toko and Husam Cohen all DNFing earlier on in the race. Sorry for the lovely bug. Unfortunately, nothing we could do there. But that's been it. We will see you in a bit for the post-race interviews. Hello everyone and welcome back to LSI Summer Season. We're today for the post-race interviews of the Australian Grand Prix. What a race that was. The new feature definitely provided us with some pretty good racing. We of course had the new qualifying feature which worked pretty nicely, I have to say. But what's even nicer for this guy on return, Cisco, amazing. P2 in the end, and with a unfortunate incident between End Andrews and Zingy, it might change. But we're not going to get too excited for now because we haven't seen the replay yet. But Cisco, welcome back, and what a race.
Thank you.
How can you take us through that first of all, the sprint race, of course, or even qualifying first?
Oh yeah, the quali was quite interesting. First time driving on the wet track in the new game, so it was quite interesting and I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I invalidated my lap like 4 times in a row.
Yeah, could actually see you lose the rear. It looked quite fun though. It wasn't like a bad loss of the rear, but it was
Yeah.
like nice tail whip.
Yeah, then the sprint race I got like 2 penalties because of illegal overtake, which was just dumb because one guy spun out while the safety car and I just got a penalty for it.
Right.
And the second one,
might be able to get that removed, or
it was from the sprint race, so it doesn't really matter.
You possibly get points though.
Oh yeah,
possibly. I don't know. I obviously we'd have to look at it later on. But yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, and then the main race I got quite a good start, and just I was just waiting for everybody to spin or crash in front of me, and then just got in front.
Fair enough. Well, it worked very, very nicely. It's, I have to say, great to see you back. And
I actually didn't do any overtake on the track. And I got it P9.
Brilliant. So a pretty lonely race then, maybe you could say.
Yeah, there was like one battle with Max, and he outbraked himself, and then just lost it.
Yeah. I mean, fair enough. You had a really, really good race. The next one, is at Miami. So
I actually won't be here.
Oh, that's a shame. I'll ask anyway. Do you like the circuit? Have you tried it yet?
I haven't tried it yet.
Fair enough. Well, hopefully we can see you again for next season. But yeah, really well done. It was awesome to see you again today, and a brilliant result. Well done.
Yeah, thank you.
One last question. How do you describe your race in 3 words?
Hyena style racing.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done today.
Thank you too. See ya.
And we move on to Zingy. Zingy, it looked good. You got pole position. You won the... Oh, no, you didn't get pole position. You got P2. You won the sprint race, of course. Unfortunately, it didn't go quite to plan in the feature race. We didn't get to see it on stream, but can you take us through the whole race?
Yeah, qualifying was quite difficult. Luke was rapid. Main defence couldn't believe it. We thought he was on the wet setup, but turns out he was on the right setup, so fair enough to him. He's very good in the wet. And then the sprint race, yeah, that wasn't that bad actually. It just got a good start and then maintained the gap to the cars behind. Didn't really have to do much that race. And then in the main race, safety car came out quite early, and I thought I can make it to the end in hards, and everyone followed suit.
Yeah.
Looking on course for a win once again. Bang! Snatched it in my hands.
It's painful. Managed to get back to P4 in the end, so it's still good points, but that's not what you want. You don't really care about that, I assume.
No.
Yeah. Miami, I know you like the circuit. You're very good at it. You're going to be looking for a slightly different way of driving. You're going to be looking to dominate this one instead of battling closely.
Yeah, I'm going to make sure everyone gets lapped this time. I'm going to make sure that no one's near me. Make sure that I am leaving plenty of width on the track.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm terribly sorry to see the feature race go like that, but you still won the sprint race, so there's something good to take from it. But yeah, really well done. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
Call an ambulance.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done today. And that's been it for the post-show interviews. Thank you very much for watching. It's been a pleasure. We will be back tomorrow for the Saturday tier and back next week for the finale of the summer season, the Miami Grand Prix. Don't miss it. It's going to be a good one for the first time ever. Looking forward to that circuit. Other than that, we'll see you Tuesday for the open lobbies. But until then, good night. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.